Hello and welcome to the next part of this tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to take the logical data model that we designed and we're going to build that out in bubble.io. So as you can see, I'm on the app home screen of bubble.io. I've created a project, and this is going to be limited to just building out the database. Obviously, learning Bubble is a whole ball game in its own, and I'm sure it is one of the products you'll be exploring. It's extremely powerful, and you can build some really great things with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the data tab over here inside of our application. Now what I've done already to save some time is I've created the product and category data tables already. I think the key thing to note is that Bubble doesn't call them tables, it calls them data types, which is a bit of a confusing nomenclature if you come from a data background. But anyway, it's just the way that Bubble names them. So I'm going to go ahead and create the customer table. So let's just create it over here. We're going to call it customer. I'm going to say create. Now you'll recall when we modeled out the logical data model, we gave each of the tables a primary key, so a unique identifier of identifying them. And now if you were doing this in a traditional database, in a coding environment, you would need to create that ID field, that primary key field. In Bubble, you don't. It does it for you, and it kind of works behind the scenes. So what we're going to do is within our customer table or data type, we're going to create a new field. And now we won't make this customer ID, we will make this customer name. And we're going to give it a data type of text because it's going to be descriptive. Create. Let's create another field called date of birth. And the field type, we're going to choose date. And let's, for simplicity's sake, say we're going to create a new field called address, and we're just going to make that text as well. All right, so basically that's how we would create the customer table. What you can do is at this stage you can go and enter some data into it. So we've got our all customers here. I'm going to go and create a new entry in customer address. I'm going to make it 12 Oak Avenue, obviously made up in Reading in the UK. Obviously in the real world you'd be breaking this out into separate fields, one for address line 1 for city, one for postcode or zip code. I'm going to create the customer as John Snow. Date of birth is the 1st of April 1978. I won't put any time in there. Ooh, it probably does want that. Let's do that 1st of April or March 1978 at midday. Midday, and create. Okay, so for some reason it's not created the date of birth, but never mind, we don't need that for this exercise. Now I'm going to create another one, and let's call this address is number 87 Birch Lane, and this is in Southampton, also in the UK, and our customer is Owen Farrell. Let's not worry about date of birth. So we've got two sample customers in there just to demonstrate how this all works. Now we're going to go ahead and create the order header table. So back to our data type. we're going to create a new one called order header. Let's create that. And within that, we're going to call it order number. And let's just make this a number. We're going to say order date and make this a date. And now we want to specify that this order is going to be for a specific customer. So let's go and say customer. Now remember when we did the join between the customer and the order header table in our logical data model? You can see here we've been choosing basic data types. I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to say I want the customer, and it's going to create that link for me. So we've got customer, order date, and order number. Let's now go and create the order detail table. So I've done that in the data type create, and we want to be able to join this to the order number. Order number. So instead of giving it just a basic data type, we're going to join that to the order header. Then we're going to say the line number, and that's just going to be a number. And then we're going to create the product. Now again, we won't choose the basic type. We're going to link this to the product table. And let's say we're going to create the quantity. And this is going to be a number. Right, so we've created those two tables. Now when we go and we start entering data, so let's go into the order header and say we're creating a new order. Remember, this is just the back end we're working in now. Obviously, if you built a front end, it would be a little bit slicker and it would look like a real application. This is just the demonstration here. Right, so we're dealing with the order header. We're going to now choose a customer. So within customer, it's telling us you can pick the field that should be used to display or search for things of a custom type. So we want to be searching for a customer name, and we want it to the order header, we want to save it as the customer. Let's just see category name. We're not too bothered about that at the moment. Let's just save that. Now when we're entering the order header, let's start typing John Snow. So there you can see now when we're processing the order or a customer's doing it online, this list of customers automatically becomes available. Obviously, if I was a customer at Amazon, I wouldn't see other customers, but you get the idea of this being the sort of back-end database. We could then go and put the order date in and an order number. Let's say we're dealing with order 100, create that. So that's our order header. Now when we want to start adding products to that, we're going to go to order details, create a new entry. Our line number is going to be number 1. Now what we want to do is we want to start looking, and you see it doesn't display it here. We're going to create that link now. So change the search field, and this is going to be our order header, and it's going to be order number. So now when we start thinking about what that order number looks like, apologies, that should be 1, and this should be 100. There we go, it's picked it up. Product. I did create a product called iPad, but you can see I haven't linked that to the product table yet. So what I'm going to do is click this over here and say I want to link it to product, and I want to link it to product name. Let's save that. Now when I go in there and I type iPad, there we go. It brings me up a description called large iPad, which is a product I've already added. And I'm ordering 3 of those because I'm buying my family loads of Christmas gifts. And create. And there we have it. So what we've done in essence is created these 3 data types: our customer, our order header, our order detail. And as I said before, I also created the product and product and category ones. So if we were to go and have a look at that there and look at our product categories, I've created one called online electronics, one called leisure vehicles. And if I go and look at the products, I've created a large iPad. And in fact, those are the ones that we can now see in our order header and the subsequent date. So it's actually that easy. Bubble makes it a little bit easier in the sense that you don't have to think about some of those links in terms of internal IDs and those sorts of things. What you can do here now is also come and create sort of primary fields. So within category, you might want to make it category name. Customer would be customer unique ID. In fact, category would be unique ID. Order detail would be unique ID. So essentially we're going to do that for all of them. So you can see it's created a unique ID automatically for us, and we don't have to worry about that. So you can see here, instead of the customer number, it's putting the unique ID, and that's the join. But you're going to have that link back to the customer table to look up the name and other customer details. So that's it for building out your database in Bubble. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.